My question is, when is it okay not to be okay? And when is it not okay to be not okay?
Hello everyone, welcome once again to my channel. It's your boy Luis Portelles, and for today's video we have a very special reaction because we are going to be covering the Q&A segment of Binibining Pilipinas 2021. Now, as you guys know, if you've been on my channel for quite some time, at this point I've been covering Binibining Pilipinas 2021 for the past few weeks. I was able to interview some of the candidates. I've been following the pageant, covering previous years. It's been such a discovery journey, so exciting. But those of you who know me very well know that Q&A is definitely my favorite part of any pageant, because this is the part where you get to discover what are the communication skills of each one of the candidates. This year's edition was amazing from beginning to end. I actually have a full review of the show, so if you haven't watched that, I'll leave you a link to it in the description down below. But I have so much to say about the Q&A, so much feedback, and I will be sharing all of that with you today. As usual, what I'm gonna ask from you is that if you enjoy my video, don't forget to leave a like so that it gets recommended to more people. Subscribe to my channel for more videos like this one almost every single day. And last but not least, go in the comment section and let me know what did you think about the answers, what you think about my feedback, and anything that you want to express. Alright my friends, so without further ado, let's get into today's video. I really hope that you enjoy it.
Be strong.
Sounds great, so let's get started with this round, beginning with our first finalist, Binibining 3.
Come on, Manila. Look at the color of the dress. Love it. And a beautiful girl as well.
The celebrity guest panelist that I picked is May Sestina Parsons.
Binibining 3, turn around for your question.
Magandang gabi, Binibini. This is my question for you. If you can speak to all Filipinos abroad, what are you most proud of as a Pinay, despite the grueling and difficult pandemic situation in the Philippines?
Oof. Okay.
Filipinos are known to be resilient people, and we have proved this because we have overcome the pandemic. Although the pandemic may not end, but we see that Filipinos are fighting strong, even if they are undergoing problems or they lost their livelihoods, they're fighting for their family. And my purpose here as your Binibini is to be able to help all Filipinos become stronger and inspire them as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Binibining number 3.
Thank you. Now let's talk about Binibining number 3. I feel like, first of all, she looks beautiful, stunning. This girl, I mean, like, she has an amazing body. But when it comes to the Q&A portion of it, I have to give her props because she was looking confident from beginning to end, and also she was very eloquent. She was not like confused at any point. She seemed very calm, and I appreciate that. Now, the only issue that I had with her answer was the fact that she mainly focused on herself, on her message, on how she was going to give hope and inspire other people. But did she really address the international community of Filipinos living abroad? I'm not so sure, to be honest. So in that sense, I think that her answer was not the most effective because it was a little elusive to the question. But overall, she handled herself really well. So let's keep watching.
The next Binibini up is number 15.
This one though, this one. Karen.
Celebrity guest panelist, Mr. Boy Abunda. Kindly turn back to the screen.
If only she knew.
Binibini, good evening. And this is your question. Ngayon, madalas nating naririnig na it's okay not to be okay. My question is, when is it okay not to be okay? And when is it not okay to be not okay?
Tito Boy Abunda, what are you doing? I actually feel so sorry for Karen right now. But you know what? I'm gonna let her answer it. We'll talk about it later.
You know, sometimes it's hard to
move on, especially that if we lost our loved ones,
Yeah.
when we're depressed, when we have anxiety, but most of all, when we want to move forward in life. You know, my favorite saying in a movie, Disney, Inside Out, is embrace your sadness, because in embracing your sadness, you will feel you will feel happiness afterwards. Thank you.
Oh.
Thank you, candidate number 15. Very graceful.
My girl really tried her best, okay? My girl really tried her best with what she had. You have to give her props for that. You can tell that right after the question, Karen was looking a little confused, a little anxious, a little stressed. And understandably, because that was a very destabilizing question. What I can say in her defense is that she really tried to defend her answer by including inspiring elements and trying to put some positivity up in there. But at the end of the day, it didn't make much sense because she was trying to construct her answer as she was going. I feel like the question was so confusing that from the beginning, she didn't know what she was gonna do with that. And because you are being timed, you only have 30 seconds, she had to start answering. So in the long run, I feel like this really penalized her because she was not able to provide a cohesive answer from beginning to end. Rather, she was just throwing things at the wall and see what sticks. Now, when it comes to the answer, I do have to say that I honestly don't understand what is the purpose of this type of questions when they are so abstract. Because at the end of the day, Q&A portion of it, for me personally, is supposed to show how the girls are smart, how they are aware of current situations and issues happening around them, rather than giving a very abstract and general question that can be answered really in any way, shape, or form. It just depends how you explain it. I would have appreciated a little bit more, a more constructive question for the queen, because in my opinion, she's just being penalized here.
Next is Binibining number 19. Kindly step towards the table and pick your card.
Come on, Gabrielle.
My judge is Miss Maria Garcia.
Good evening, Binibining.
Good evening.
My question is, in what ways can a female public servant or politician can be more effective than a male politician?
Well, I really understand that all of us are doing our best to give the best service to everyone. And I can say that men servants are very strong when it comes to making decisions, and with women, they are very passionate when it comes to the things that they are doing, and they're very sensitive with the feeling of the other people, and that's what makes women servants different from men.
Thank you, candidate number 19.
Okay, so once again, I have this issue with the answer where I feel like the girl is constructing it as she is going. Honestly, I would prefer that before they even answer, they take like 1 or 2 seconds just to think of the structure of what they're going to say. Overall, I feel like Gabrielle really had a consistent answer, besides the fact that she was kind of looking for her words. It did show. On top of that, I think that she was a little stressed when it comes to this segment of the show. Q&A can be really challenging. And ultimately, if I'm being fully transparent, I don't necessarily agree with this option of necessarily separating men and women, you know, because for me, it's all about equality and putting them together, like making them work together rather than saying men are good at leadership and women are good at nurturing. For me, both can be blended, you know, so although I don't personally agree 100% with the answer, I have to say that she was able to defend it, which at the end of the day, it's really what matters. And I think that overall, her performance throughout the entire competition and during Coronation night, not just during the Q&A, it's really what helped her get that first runner-up position.
Up next for our question in A round is Binibining 24.
Binibining 24.
It is not an easy position to be in. The grace under pressure needed in a situation like this, definitely Kat. And the questions are so beautiful, profound, and relevant as well.
My judge is Undersecretary Benito Bengzon Jr.,
our chairman of
She's
the
so
board.
beautiful. So beautiful.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Here's the question. Given the pandemic situation now in the Philippines, should vaccination be a choice or a mandate?
Vaccination should be a choice. And I still remember the days when we were all longing for vaccines to be created. And now that vaccines are available, we tend to get hesitated because we fear of the side effects. But I encourage everyone to choose to get vaccinated because this is the big step for us to move forward and to protect ourselves and our loved ones. Thank you.
Very well
Okay.
said. Thank you, Binibining 24.
Okay, so I don't disagree with her answer. I think that definitely saying that vaccination is a choice is the right way to go, because the other option, saying that it should be a mandate, that's kind of like, you know, where is the freedom? So going with the choice, I feel like it's the right answer. Now, the only issue that I have is that the answer was fairly simple. There were not a lot of arguments. She just really went with something that felt to me more of a personal opinion rather than a pageant answer and rather than a statement. One of the things that Tito Boy was mentioning during the workshop for the Q&A segment is the fact that yes, you should definitely have some personal aspects in your answer, but you should also have a clear message of hope. You should have a strong beginning and a strong ending. And at the end of the day, it has to feel like a statement because people need to relate to it. People need to react to it. And although I do agree with her answer, I definitely understand where she's coming from and she delivered it beautifully. I feel like it lacked a little bit of impact. Just my opinion, don't cancel me.
Next up, we have our Binibini in the flaming red-orange dress, Graciela Liman.
Catriona really forgot her name. God damn it. Oh, Liman, they did you dirty, girl.
Hi, Graciela. I have chosen Mr. Enrique Hill.
Okay, Enrique. Be nice to my girl,
Good
Liman.
evening, Binibini.
We like her
Good
around this
evening,
house.
sir.
Hi. Your question is, what are your thoughts about romantic relationships which began and developed on social media during the pandemic lockdown?
To be completely honest, there is nothing wrong with loving relationships that comes from social media because as we all know, we have harnessed the power of social media and this is something that we should celebrate because love knows no time, love knows no place. Even at social media, we can meet someone and we can be in love. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Graciela. And
Okay, my girl Graciela did that. Okay, so let's focus on her. Her answer and her delivery was okay. I mean, she was eloquent. She was cohesive from beginning to end, which I appreciate. I don't like it. I truly don't when candidates are just like looking for words on stage. And although I understand that sometimes you can crack under pressure, Gabriela was able to keep it together. Now, what I have to say is that the question is a little bit forgettable. When you think about it, the previous questions have all been about social issues. How do we inspire people to learn from the pandemic? Abstract questions. And then you come with this one that is about relationships online. It just felt a little random and a little out of place to me. And although Graciela did answer the question perfectly, she did provide an impactful answer. She had a statement. She was eloquent. I believe that the answer was forgettable because the question was forgettable. Some people might not agree, but once again, keep in mind that this is my opinion. So if you're mad, then stay mad.
the last from this batch, we have Binibini number 7.
Come on, Meiji. Meiji.
I have chosen Miss Kylie Versosa.
Ooh.
Hello, Meiji.
Hi, Miss Kylie.
Hello. My question is, these days, beauty queens are also considered as beauty athletes with all the training we undergo. What is your message of inspiration to all Filipino athletes who are competing in the forthcoming Olympics in Japan, given the pandemic situation?
Eee.
As a candidate myself, I understand and I completely agree that we are like athletes because we are required to be disciplined. We are required to give our 100% passion and focus on whatever we will do. And to our athletes, I know that you are also waiting for this to happen again. And this will happen again in Japan and it's a good sign and it means that there's hope and we are go back to normal. Thank you.
Thank you so much,
All right, Miss
candidate number
Meiji.
7. And that concludes our first round.
Alright, Meiji had a really strong beginning for the answer. I feel like she knew where she was going, you know, with her inspirational message. Now the rest of the answers, that's where it was not so polished. As I was telling you with previous candidates, I feel like Meiji kind of like really visualized how to start her answer in a very good, impactful way, but then she didn't know what to do with the rest of the question. It's almost like with the first part of it, I was like, yeah, and then I was like, huh? Because she was clearly looking for words, she was clearly looking for elements that she would be able to plug in and that would help her come up with an impactful answer. But at the end of it, I don't feel like it necessarily happened. Did she answer the question overall? Yes. Was the execution perfect? No. But you know, when I had the chance to interview Meiji a few weeks ago, one of the things that she mentioned that she needed to work on and that it was going to be a challenge for her was the Q&A segment of it. So maybe she was a little conscious about it. When you're on the stage, stress and nerves can take the best of you. But at the end of the day, she was able to answer that, huh?
Let's proceed with Binibining 23 from Albay, Jasmine de Mabulangan.
Come on, Jasmine! Rooting for my girl. Looking like a diosa. Perfect, beautiful.
Celebrity guest panelist, Congresswoman Vilma Santos Recto.
Kindly turn to your back to see the question.
Magandang gabi, Binibini. This is my question. So much has happened to us in the course of a year. When we emerge from this crisis, what positive change do you foresee happening to humanity in general?
Something positive that I have witnessed during the pandemic is how resilient and adaptable people are. We have been put through a lot the past year, but still we find ways to help one another and find ways to help. And at the end of the day, as long as we put our generosity and charity first, then together we can heal and we can get through this crisis. Thank you.
Oh.
Thank you very much.
I like how she executed the end of it. Like, she looked like really inspired and she was like, and we can get through this crisis. I like that. Okay, so Yasmin had a very, very strong beginning. In the middle of the answer, I thought that she was gonna lose it at some point, but she was able to pick it up for the final part of it. So overall, I'm gonna say that it was very consistent. She did provide enough elements to answer the core of the question. So in my opinion, this was a pretty solid one. Once again, I have a little issue with the question is that it's a little bit too general, you know. Pretty much it was, what can we learn from the pandemic? Like, what are we gonna take from it going forward? And I feel like Jasmine did the best that she could with what she was given. Props to you, my girl.
Candidate number 23. Up next, we have candidate number 1, Samantha Panlilio.
Come on, Samantha. That dress. That makeup.
I chose Judge Mr. Rahul Laurel.
Hey.
Good evening, Binibini. Hi.
Good
evening, Binibini.
Good evening.
YOLO. You only live once.
No.
Name something you learned and did for the first time during the pandemic, which you consider as the most life-changing of all.
The one thing that I did during the pandemic was actually cook food for frontliners because I love to cook. And I also have a food vlog, which I do in my spare time. And it was such a fulfilling and humbling experience, you know, helping these people and helping contribute to the people who are actually in the front lines helping us Filipinos. And so I hope that what I did inspired other women too to also help out one another, because the only way that we can survive and heal and recover through this pandemic is if we help one another. Thank you.
Just in the nick of time. Thank you so much, Binibining.
Bonga! Okay, my girl Sam really killed it from beginning to end. You know that my girl did not stutter. It was so fluid, so smooth, and most importantly, it felt natural. Once again, if I go back to the example of the workshop with Tito Boyabunda, I feel like Sam was able to make her answer very, very personal. So she talked about how she implicated herself within the community to give back to others and help the frontline workers. But also she was able to include all of the answers, you know, like the hope for the people, like, you know, inviting other people to follow her example to help frontline workers. So at the same time, she kind of became like a role model with her answer. And the best part of it is that it didn't feel forced. It didn't feel like she was pushing. It didn't feel like she was looking for the answers. It was just an extremely natural delivery from beginning to end, like she was talking to a friend. That to me is excellent. So that's all I gotta say. So far, she was the first candidate who went a little bit over time, but that's fine because I feel like it was worth it. She just wanted to finish her sentence.
Next up, we have from Quezon Province, Binibining A, Patricia Babista.
My question will be coming from Miss Liza Soberano.
Hi, good evening, Patricia. So my question for you is, fake news, bashing, rants, and the like are abound on social media. Why do you think they should not be part of the new beautiful, even if they encourage social interactions on this platform?
Social media is such a beautiful technology that has given us, but there is always limitations. So I hope that in social media, we will create a space where there is no hate. Thank you.
Thank you, Patricia.
How do I... Let me start by saying that I really like Patricia Babista. So please, everyone, don't take this the wrong way, but this was lackluster. And once again, I'm gonna start by saying that once you find yourself in this position, middle of the stage, surrounded by beauty queens, Catriona Gray on your side, judges in front of you, it's extremely nerve-wracking. Her answer didn't hit any of the points of the question, and it was just so generic. Even like the choice of words, I don't feel like it was appropriate. You know, like social media, it's such an important technology. I have mixed feelings, to be honest. Physically speaking, Babista is just beautiful, beyond gifted, and even her personality is very lovable. She has like this innocent aura about herself. But I feel like in order to snatch a crown, she should work a little bit more on her communication skills and how she delivers a message. And there's nothing wrong about that. You know, that's really just constructive criticism. She can go back and work a little bit more on herself and come back for next year or a future edition and really snatch a title. This was not it for me, but I'm really hoping for the best for her because she is a really strong candidate.
Up next, we have Binibining number 25, Honey Grace Cartasano.
Honey!
Please pick your card.
Oh, this dress. Honey was one of the best dresses, like she had one of the best dresses for me of the night.
My judge
So
is
creative.
Mr. Joseldo C.
She took a risk.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening.
Binibining number 25. Amidst the hardships and suffering the world is facing now, if you're given a chance to face God and ask one question, what will that be and why?
If I will be having a chance to ask God, it is why. But I know that everything happens for a reason. We may be facing pandemic right now and there's so much uncertainty. But this revealed that every Filipino has a heart of a hero. So thank you, God, for everything, even though we're facing this pandemic. Thank you to all the Filipino heroes. Thank you.
Thank you, Honey.
I really liked her answer. I remember as I was watching the live stream of the show, she was one of the girls that really had me, like I had to stand up for her and I was clapping as she was delivering her answer. Because it's very inspiring, you know, pretty much what she's saying here is that she will ask God, why? Why are we going through this? Why this is happening to all of us? If you love us so much, why are you putting us in this position? But at the same time, she is thankful because we are able to learn through this experience and we are able to become stronger and better people. And by using that context, she also sent a message to Filipinos by comparing them to heroes and the frontline workers. And I mean, it's just like so much substance in such a short answer. In the beginning, I feel like she was looking on how to start the answer. She didn't know where to go, but from the moment that she was able to get started, she didn't stop until the end. And it was like you know, facts only from beginning to end. So, props to you, my girl.
Next up from Masbate is Binibining 17, Hannah Arnold.
Hi, Hannah. We are twinning today. Same color.
My judge is Miss Pinky Webb.
Hi, Hannah.
Hello.
Given the reach and power of social media, do you believe that genuine freedom of speech exists in the Philippines nowadays? Why or why not?
First of all, freedom of speech is a basic human right that we
Yes.
all must remember.
True.
And it is important for a democracy.
Mhm.
And with our upcoming election, we definitely need free speech. For example, on Twitter, we are limited to few characters. And what I have seen from these tweets has been powerful and has helped me think about who I would like to vote for in the upcoming election. Thank you.
Thank you, Binibining number 17, Hannah Arnold.
Okay, so let's talk about her answer. I'm gonna start with the positive. Hannah is extremely eloquent and she has such presence on stage that she feels so delicate, so innocent. I mean, like she wouldn't hurt a fly. The beginning of the answer was extremely strong. Well, I will hurt this fly. The beginning of the answer felt extremely strong, you know, she was really going with, you know, human rights and freedom of speech and, you know, constitution and democracy and all of those things that I believe are essential for humans. Now, when it comes to the second part of the answer, I don't necessarily see how it's related to the question. She started talking about Twitter and the number of characters, so whether you have too many characters or not enough, you're still able to express yourself. But the question was yes or no. Is there freedom of speech or no? And I feel like at no point during her answer she really addressed that part of the question. So because of that, this answer was not my favorite of the night. But once again, you have to give props to Hannah. She really got the title. And I think it's because she delivered a very consistent performance from beginning to end of the competition. And also because of how she is, how she handles herself, how she presents herself. She really has the prototype of girl that will be sent to Miss International.
Next up, we have Binibining number 10, Maureen Montaigne.
My judge is Secretary Benito Bendon Jr.
Good evening, Binibini. Here's my question. Now that compassion is needed more than ever, what is your most recent act of kindness and how did this affect others?
During the pandemic, I was in Siargao, and together, friends and I banded together and we created the Siargao Community Kitchen. It was a trying time and everyone felt how hard it was. Our hearts were heavy, but together we rose. Together we supported our communities and provided our hot meals and assistance to everyone on the island and helped as much as we could. And for me, it proved that together, community conquers all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Binibining 10, Maureen Montaigne.
Okay, so I really enjoyed her answer. She was very fluid, she was very smooth from beginning to end, and the answer made sense. When you think about it, I mean, there was no really a flaw in there. She seemed to be pretty confident and pretty calm about what she was saying. So when I get those vibes from the candidate, I believe what they're telling me. So definitely, good job on that. Through Maureen's answer, you can really tell that she has international experience because when she speaks, I get the vibes of a beauty queen, you know? Like, she is the girl who really gave me the most, like, structured answer, in my opinion. Almost to the point where it feels rehearsed, but you know it's not because she didn't know what the question was in advance, obviously. But she just has that skill to really structure her answer to make it feel well constructed. I don't know if that makes sense, but in my fantasy world, it does, okay?
And we have the last Binibini to show her heart.
Last but not least.
Binibini 12 from Cagayan de Oro, Cinderella o Benita.
Come on, Cinderella.
Hi, Kat and Nicole. I have chosen celebrity guest panelist, Mr. Michael Cinco. Kindly
turn to the screen.
The Michael Cinco, the controversial
Hello,
Michael
to
Cinco.
Binibining. Here's my question. How important are luxury items like bags, clothes, and jewelry for a woman when the national economy is down and struggling?
In life, we always find ourselves at a crossroad of choices. Women always have a choice whether to prioritize luxury items while we are facing a pandemic, and also they have a choice to embrace a concept of a new beautiful, which is responsive to the needs of the time, adaptive to the change of times. And I think I would choose to be that woman who understands the problems of the Philippines, the problems of my community, so that we would be able to uplift each other. And I would be that kind of woman who would comfort the afflicted and afflict the comfortable. Mayang gabi sa inyong tanan.
Very well said, and thank you to all of our finalists. You have shown
I love Cinderella Benita. I mean, this answer really just gave me the chills. First of all, she looked extremely calm, she looked extremely confident, and she knew like what she was going to say from the beginning. You can tell. On top of that, that was a very purposeful answer. It was not superficial, and that's what I like the most, because, you know, especially when you are already in a beauty pageant, a lot of people think that this is a very superficial type of contest. But when you have a contestant that is a fan favorite that has so many people supporting them, and they come up with an answer that is really uplifting women for being naturally beautiful and for talking about the new beautiful and really saying that material things are secondary, I have no choice but to give her my respect. She is often called one of the dark horses of the competition because I feel like Obanita was really able to shine her best during Coronation night. During the competition, she was very consistent from beginning to end, but during Coronation night, she just brought her A game, like A+, I don't know, it was just like amazing. I enjoyed this so much. So everyone, that's pretty much it, the Q&A segment for this year's edition of Binibining Pilipinas. If you're still watching to this point, you know that I had a lot of opinions. Some of them were good, some of them were not so good, but whenever I give my opinion, I try to be as constructive as possible. I admire and I love all of these ladies, and it's never my intention to bring anyone down or to make them feel like they did not try her best. So now it's your turn, because that's enough of me talking. Go in the comment section and let me know who was your favorite candidate, what did you like the most about the answers, and do you agree with my critique? While you're at it, don't forget to leave a like on my videos, that it gets recommended to more people. Subscribe to my channel for more videos like this one almost every single day. And last but not least, come here and give me a hug, because that's a little tradition on this channel. You know that I love you, that I appreciate you. Thank you for coming and spending a few moments out of your day here with me. And until I see you next time, please stay safe, be kind to one another, sending you all my love, all my kisses, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.